John lived alone on a quiet planet far from the busy human colonies. His small house sat at the edge of a rocky plain, with nothing around for miles except the stars and the cold wind that sometimes swept across the land. He liked the silence. Life was simple for him, and he enjoyed his peaceful routine. Every day he worked on small inventions and repaired old machines, and at night he watched the stars, wondering if anyone else in the universe felt as small and ordinary as he did. One night, as John was finishing a meal, he heard a soft knock at his door. He froze. No one ever came here. Visitors were rare, and most of the time they were dangerous traders or officials checking supplies. He stood slowly and walked to the door, wondering if it was someone lost or if he was imagining the sound. When he opened the door, he could not believe his eyes. Standing there was a woman, unlike anything he had ever seen. She was tall, with skin that seemed to glow softly in the moonlight, and her eyes shimmered with colors he could not describe. Her hair floated gently, as if touched by a light breeze even though the night was still. She looked tired but calm, and her presence felt almost gentle, like a warm light in the darkness. "Please," she said in a soft voice that somehow sounded familiar and kind, "I need shelter. My ship is damaged. I do not have anywhere else to go." John stared at her, unsure if he should believe what he was seeing. An alien was standing at his door, asking for help. His mind raced. He remembered the stories of explorers who met strange beings, some helpful, some dangerous. But something in her voice made him trust her. It was not fear or demand he heard, it was honesty and hope. I don't know," John said slowly. "It is not safe here. You could be in danger." "I can take care of myself," she replied. "I only need a place to stay for the night. That is all." John hesitated. He wanted to say no, but his heart told him otherwise. He stepped back and motioned her in. "Come in," he said. "But you must stay inside. Outside is dangerous tonight." She nodded and stepped inside. The moment she entered, John noticed a faint warmth spread across the room. Her presence seemed to light up his small house. He watched as she carefully placed her small device on the table. It looked like a crystal but moved and changed shape, humming softly. "Thank you," she said, her eyes glowing softly. "I am Nira." "John," he replied, still surprised. You are far from your home." "My home is very far," Nira said. "I am an explorer. I travel across galaxies, learning about planets, life, and people. Tonight, I was not expecting trouble. My ship was damaged near this planet, and I had nowhere else to go." John nodded slowly. He could see she spoke the truth. She did not demand anything. She did not carry weapons. She simply asked for shelter. And somehow, he felt honored to give it to her. "Sit," John said, pointing to a chair. "Do you want something to eat? You must be hungry." "I am not used to human food," Nira said with a small smile. "But I would like to try." John laughed lightly. He quickly prepared a simple meal of bread, roasted vegetables, and water. She watched him carefully, her eyes following every movement. When he handed her the plate, she took it with gentle hands and nodded in thanks. John noticed that her movements were graceful, precise, and different from anything he had seen. They ate in silence for a while. John stole glances at her, feeling a mix of curiosity and wonder. She was beautiful, yes, but there was something more, something that made him feel that meeting her was not just chance. He had the feeling that the universe had brought her to him for a reason. After the meal, Nero looked at the window and then at John. "Your planet is beautiful at night. The stars are close here, and the sky feels quiet." "Yes," John said softly. "I like it here because it is peaceful. Most humans would never come to a place like this. It is too far and too lonely." But perhaps loneliness allows humans to see more, Nira said. You see the stars. You feel small but also strong. That is rare. John did not know how to answer. He had never thought of it like that. All his life, he had felt ordinary, unnoticed, and alone. But this alien, who had traveled across galaxies, seemed to see something special in him. They talked late into the night. Nira told him about distant planets with skies of strange colors and creatures that glowed in the dark. John shared his simple life and dreams, and she listened with curiosity. Every word she spoke was gentle and intelligent, and John realized that she was not just beautiful, she was extraordinary. By the time the night was deep, John felt a strange warmth in his chest. He had helped a being from another galaxy, and she had shared her world with him. Something inside him stirred a feeling of hope, curiosity, and courage. He did not know what would happen next, but he knew life as he had known it was about to change. The next morning, John woke to the soft sound of humming. He rubbed his eyes and saw Nira standing near the window, her luminous skin reflecting the early sunlight. She was observing the horizon, where the rocky plains met the sky. "Good morning," John said quietly, not wanting to startle her. "Good morning, John," she replied, turning toward him with a gentle smile. "Your world is peaceful. I like it." John felt a little embarrassed. He had grown up thinking his planet was small and unremarkable. Yet here was someone from another galaxy, seeing beauty in what he had always considered ordinary. "Do you want breakfast?" John asked. "I can make something simple." "I would like that," Nira said, and her smile made John's chest feel lighter. While John prepared a simple meal of bread, fresh fruit, and tea, Nira looked around the small house. She seemed fascinated by everything: the tools, the books, the old gadgets he had repaired. John noticed her eyes linger on a small telescope near the window. "You watch the stars?" she asked, her voice full of curiosity. "I do," John said. "It makes me feel like I am part of something bigger. Even when life is quiet, the stars remind me that the universe is vast." Nira nodded. "I have seen many stars. I have traveled across countless galaxies. Some have suns that shine 3 times as bright as yours. Some planets have oceans of liquid crystal. Some creatures glow in colors humans cannot even imagine." John paused, trying to imagine it. "That sounds incredible. I have never seen anything like that. I thought humans were limited to their small worlds." "They are not limited," Nira said. "Humans have courage, curiosity, and imagination. That is what matters. I can see it in you, John. You have a mind that wants to explore and understand. That is rare in any species." John felt a strange warmth in his chest. He had never thought of himself as special. Yet Nira, a being from another galaxy, believed in him. He wondered what else he could learn from her. They ate breakfast together, and as they did, Nira began to tell her story. She described her home planet, a world far beyond the stars John knew. It was filled with towering cities that seemed to float above the land, and the air shimmered with energy currents that could be seen and felt. Her people valued knowledge, peace, and exploration above all else. "I travel to learn," Nira said. "I visit planets to understand life. Sometimes I meet others who are curious like me. Sometimes I face dangers, but I am careful. My ship can travel far, but tonight it needed rest. That is why I am here." John listened, fascinated. He had always dreamed of adventure, but his life had been small and simple. Now, he was listening to someone who had actually seen the wonders he had only imagined. "Have you ever been to a planet where the trees float in the air?" Nira asked. "Where the rivers glow at night? Where the skies are violet and green instead of blue?" "No," John said. "I cannot even imagine it. But it sounds amazing." "It is," she said softly. But it is also dangerous. Some worlds are filled with creatures that hunt without mercy. Some suns burn with a heat that can melt machines. But that is why we explore. To learn, to grow, and to find life worth protecting. John realized how much courage she had. She was a traveler, an explorer, and yet she had come to his small house, trusting him enough to ask for help. That thought made him feel proud and responsible. After breakfast, they sat by the window. Nero looked at John and smiled. "You have a calm mind, John. It is not common among humans. Most are afraid of the unknown. But you are different. You watch the stars. You wonder. That makes you ready for things you do not yet know." John felt a mix of pride and disbelief. Could it be true that he had potential beyond his quiet life? Could humans really be more than he had ever believed? "Maybe you are right," John said, smiling. "Maybe we humans are capable of more than we think." Neera's eyes gleamed. "We all are, if we have courage. And tonight, you will see that sometimes courage means helping others, even when you are unsure." John felt a chill run through him. Somehow, he knew that her words were a warning, not a threat. Something was coming, something he could not yet see. Yet he did not feel fear. Instead, he felt ready. He would help Neera, no matter what. The morning passed quietly. Neera studied human tools, learning quickly, while John explained simple technology and repairs she might need. For the first time, John felt that his small life had meaning beyond his house and work. He was part of something bigger now, a universe full of possibilities, friends, and dangers he could not yet imagine. By the afternoon, John realized he was no longer just a human living alone on a quiet planet. He was a companion to an alien traveler, a witness to stories from across the galaxy, and someone who might soon face challenges that would test his courage. And for the first time in his life, John looked at the stars and thought that maybe humans were not so small after all. Over the next few days, John and Neera settled into a comfortable routine. The alien woman was careful, respectful, and curious about everything in his home. John noticed that she moved with grace and purpose, every gesture precise and calm. He began to see her not just as a visitor, but as a teacher, someone who could show him things he had never imagined. Neera was fascinated by simple human life. She studied John's tools, machines, and gadgets with keen interest. "Your designs are clever," she said one morning as she examined a small energy collector. "You humans find solutions using what is available. That is rare. Many species depend too much on technology alone and forget to think." John felt a small rush of pride. He had always worked alone, tinkering with machines that others might consider useless. Now he realized that his own skills were valuable, even compared to an advanced alien who had traveled the galaxy. In turn, Neera began to teach John her ways. She showed him how to sense small energy currents in the air, something humans could not normally perceive. She taught him how to adjust simple machines using subtle vibrations and energy flows rather than brute force. John struggled at first, but Neera's calm guidance and gentle patience encouraged him. "Focus on what you feel," she said, placing his hand over a glowing device. "Not what you see. The energy is alive. It reacts to your attention." John concentrated, closing his eyes. Slowly, the device responded. A soft glow spread across it, brighter than before. His heart raced. He had never imagined that he could make something respond this way. Neera smiled, her eyes reflecting pride and warmth. "Humans can do more than you think," she said. "It is not only strength that matters. Curiosity and care are just as powerful. You have them, John." They spent hours together, exploring ideas, repairing old devices, and learning from one another. John showed her human cooking, simple ways to preserve food, and how to navigate using the stars. Neera laughed softly at some of his mistakes, but she never mocked him. Instead, she encouraged him to keep trying. One evening, after repairing an old energy transmitter, Nero looked at John seriously. "Your people are stronger than most species know. I have traveled many galaxies, seen creatures who think themselves powerful, but they underestimate humans. Humans are brave, clever, and adaptable. That is why I trust you." John felt a warmth that had nothing to do with the glowing device before him. Her words made him see himself differently. All his life, he had thought he was ordinary, just another human on a quiet planet. Now he felt like someone who could face challenges, someone who could matter in ways he had never imagined. As the days passed, John noticed other changes in himself. He felt sharper, more aware of the energy in his surroundings. He noticed subtle shifts in temperature, light, and air pressure. He began to understand that the universe was not just empty space, it was alive, full of forces waiting to be understood. Neera's teachings opened his eyes to possibilities he had never dreamed of. At night, they would sit by the window, watching the stars together. Neera pointed out distant constellations, some familiar to humans, others completely unknown. She described planets with floating mountains, oceans of liquid metal, and forests that sang when the wind passed through them. John listened, amazed. "Do you think humans could visit those places?" he asked one night. "They could," Neera said softly. "But only if they believe in themselves. Humans have the potential. They just need courage and curiosity. That is what sets you apart from many other species. You are willing to learn, to adapt, to see beyond what is safe." John realized that he had grown in ways he never expected. Neera's presence had changed him. He felt braver, more capable, and more alive. His quiet life on a small planet now seemed full of possibility. One afternoon, while John repaired a broken panel on Neera's small device, she watched him carefully. "You are learning quickly," she said. "Soon, you will be able to do things most humans cannot. You will see how far your people can reach if you try. And you will understand that humans, though small in the galaxy, have something no other species can match: heart and courage." John smiled, feeling both pride and determination. He had always wondered if humans could make a difference, if they could truly matter in a vast universe. Now, with Neera's guidance, he believed they could. That night, as they sat together under the starlit sky, John felt a sense of connection not just to Neera, but to the universe itself. He realized that learning from her was more than just understanding alien ways. It was about understanding himself, his strengths, and the untapped potential of humanity. And though he did not know what challenges might come next, he felt ready. With Neera's teachings, his mind was sharper, his courage stronger, and his heart open to the unknown. The quiet human who once lived alone on a remote planet was beginning to grow into someone capable of facing the galaxy. The days grew quieter, but John could sense a change in the air. Neera's usually calm eyes were sharper, her senses alert. One evening, as the two of them worked on repairing a small energy device, Neera paused and held up a hand. "Something is coming," she said quietly. John looked up, confused. "What do you mean?" Neera pointed to a small device she had placed on the table. It hummed softly, sending faint pulses of light across the room. "These readings are unusual. I detect ships approaching the planet. Not human ships." John felt a chill in his chest. He had never faced danger like this. "Are they enemies?" he asked, his voice low. "They are hunters," Neera replied. "From my galaxy. They are not kind. They pursue travelers like me for their own gain. If they find me, I could be captured." John's heart raced. He had never imagined an alien threat would come to his quiet home. Yet he knew he could not let her face it alone. "We will stop them," he said firmly. Neera smiled faintly. "We can try. But you must be careful. They are faster and stronger than humans. You must use your mind, your creativity. That is your strength. Over the next few hours, they prepared. John gathered tools, lights, and old devices he had repaired over the years. Neeraj showed him how to adjust energy fields and create simple traps that could confuse sensors and slow down ships. They worked together in silence, each trusting the other completely. "You are brave, John," Neeraj said as she activated a small shield around the house. "Many humans would have run or hidden. You choose to face the unknown." John felt a mix of fear and pride. He was terrified, but he also knew that helping her was the right thing to do. He had learned much from her teachings: how to sense energy, how to use small devices creatively, and how to stay calm under pressure. Now it was time to put those lessons into practice. As night fell, the sky above the plains glowed with distant lights. Small shapes moved across the horizon, ships unlike any John had ever seen. They were sleek, fast, and clearly designed for hunting. Neeraj's device hummed faster, warning them of the approaching danger. "They are close," Neeraj said. "We must act quickly." John took a deep breath. He remembered her words: humans have courage, creativity, and heart. He would use all three. Together, they set up a plan. John would use traps and diversions while Neeraj adjusted the energy fields to confuse the hunters. Every step required precision, timing, and trust. When the first ship appeared in the sky, John's heart pounded. He triggered a small device that created a bright flash of light, confusing the sensors on the alien ship. Another trap sent a low-energy pulse that made the ground tremble slightly, throwing the hunters off balance. Neeraj guided him calmly. "Good, John. Keep going. Use their speed against them. Make them hesitate." John followed her instructions perfectly. He was no longer just a quiet human tinkering alone on a remote planet. He was a strategist, using intelligence and creativity to protect someone he cared about. Every pulse of energy, every movement of a device, made the hunters pause and recalculate. The hunters became frustrated, their ships weaving and slowing down. Neeraj activated a final energy shield around the house, creating a small zone that the alien ships could not enter. The hunters hovered near the edge, unable to approach further. "They will retreat for now," Neeraj said, her voice calm but firm. "You did well, John. You used your mind and your courage. You protected both of us." John felt a rush of relief and pride. He had faced a threat he could barely imagine and succeeded. He looked at Neeraj and saw approval and respect in her eyes. She had trusted him, and he had not failed her. As the night returned to silence, John realized that everything had changed. His quiet life was no longer ordinary. He had discovered strength, courage, and ingenuity he did not know he possessed. Neeraj had shown him that humans were capable of much more than they believed. "Thank you," Neeraj said softly, placing a hand on his shoulder. "You have proven that humans are special. You have heart, and that is a power that no species can match." John nodded, feeling a new sense of purpose. He knew that the galaxy was vast and full of dangers, but he also knew that humans could face them. With courage, intelligence, and determination, they could survive and even thrive. For the first time, he felt that being human was not a limitation. It was a strength. And though the threat of the hunters was only delayed, John felt ready. He would continue to learn from Neeraj, grow stronger, and face whatever challenges the universe would send their way. Together, they were prepared for the unknown. The night after the hunters had retreated, John could not sleep. He kept thinking about the ships in the sky and how close danger had come to his quiet home. Neeraj sat beside him, her luminous eyes reflecting a calm determination. "They will return," she said softly. "They always do. But now you know how to face them." John nodded. He had learned from her teachings and from the preparations they had made together. Yet he also realized that relying only on alien knowledge was not enough. He needed to use his human skills, his creativity, and his quick thinking to truly protect them both. The next day, John and Neeraj spent hours designing new defenses. John suggested clever traps using items around the house, combining simple mechanics with alien energy. Neeraj listened carefully, impressed by his ideas. "You think differently from any species I have met," she said. "You use what you have, adapt, and find solutions. That is what makes humans extraordinary." John smiled, feeling proud. He had always tinkered with gadgets and small machines, but now he saw that his small skills could become powerful tools when combined with Neeraj's knowledge. Together, they created devices that could confuse sensors, redirect energy pulses, and even simulate movement to make it seem as if the house were empty. By evening, the sky darkened, and the hunters returned. Their ships glided silently, scanning for signs of Neeraj. John felt a surge of determination. He positioned small devices along the perimeter and activated the energy field Neeraj had adjusted. "Remember," Neeraj said, "use your mind, your instincts, and your courage. Humans can do things others cannot. Trust yourself." John nodded and took his place near the first trap. As the hunters' ships approached, he triggered a series of lights and pulses. The ships paused, confused. Some turned away, scanning the horizon for the source. John activated another device, creating a small pulse that made the ground vibrate beneath the ships. The hunter's sensors struggled to track Neeraj's location. Neeraj guided him calmly. "Good, John. Now the next step. Use their speed against them." John quickly moved to a second device and adjusted the energy fields. The hunters' ships began to weave in the sky, trying to anticipate the movements of an invisible target. John smiled. Their advanced technology could not match the cleverness of human strategy combined with alien insight. One of the hunters tried to land near the house, but John's traps activated, creating a harmless but confusing barrier of energy pulses. The ship hovered, unable to stabilize. Another hunter attempted to scan the area with a bright beam, but John triggered a reflective device that redirected the light back, blinding their sensors temporarily. Neeraj watched, impressed. "You are learning fast, John. Your instincts, your quick thinking, and your courage are making all the difference." John felt a rush of pride and adrenaline. He had never imagined that his skills, once used only for small repairs, could play a part in saving an alien traveler from hunters across the galaxy. Yet here he was, facing danger with calm focus and determination. The hunters finally realized that their approach was failing. They could not locate Neeraj, and every attempt to land or scan was met with unexpected obstacles. Slowly, they began to retreat, their ships leaving the sky with quiet frustration. John exhaled, feeling a wave of relief. Neeraj turned to him, her glowing eyes full of admiration. "You did it, John. You used your human ingenuity to protect us both. You proved that humans can face challenges that others cannot imagine." John smiled, exhausted but proud. "We did it together," he said. "I only knew what to do because you taught me. And I learned to trust myself." Neeraj placed a hand on his shoulder. "Humans often underestimate themselves. You think you are ordinary, but your creativity, courage, and determination are extraordinary. Tonight, you proved that humans can be a force in the galaxy." For the first time, John truly felt the power of being human. His small, quiet life had prepared him for this moment. His ability to adapt, to think quickly, and to use what he had was now a strength that could influence events far beyond his small planet. That night, as the stars twinkled above, John realized that he had grown in ways he could never have imagined. The quiet human who had lived alone, tinkering with gadgets, had become a protector, a strategist, and a companion worthy of facing the galaxy's challenges. Neeraj smiled, sensing his thoughts. "This is only the beginning, John. There is much more for you to learn, and many more adventures ahead. The universe is wide, and humans can shine in ways others cannot predict. John nodded, looking up at the stars. He felt ready. No longer was he just a man on a small planet. He was part of a bigger story, one that would test courage, intelligence, and the human heart. And he knew, for the first time, that humans were capable of extraordinary things. The morning after the hunters had finally left, John woke feeling restless. The night had been quiet, but he could not shake the excitement and adrenaline from the battle. Nira was already awake, standing by the window, her eyes scanning the horizon as if sensing something beyond the planet. "Good morning," John said quietly. "Good morning, John," Nira replied with a gentle smile. "The danger has passed for now. You did well yesterday. Humans are more capable than I imagined, but you proved it." John felt a swell of pride. He had always thought of himself as an ordinary human, quiet and small in a vast universe. Yet Nira, an alien who had traveled countless galaxies, believed in him. Her words made him feel that perhaps humans could achieve more than they themselves believed. They spent the morning repairing minor damages to Nira's device. John worked with precision, using both his human skills and the alien techniques Nira had taught him. She observed carefully, occasionally guiding his hands or suggesting adjustments. By noon, the device was functioning better than before, its energy flowing smoothly and steadily. When the work was done, Nira turned to John, her expression serious yet calm. "John, I have something to offer you," she said softly. John looked up, puzzled. "Offer? What kind of offer?" "I can repair your home," Nira explained, gesturing to the small house. "With alien technology, I can make it stronger, safer, and more advanced than you have ever imagined. It will protect you from dangers and provide opportunities for you to learn more about the universe." John's eyes widened. He had never thought of his small home as a place that could be extraordinary. The idea of using alien technology to enhance it seemed impossible, yet Nira spoke as if it were simple. "That is incredible," John said slowly. "But why would you do this for me?" "Because you have courage and curiosity," Nira replied. "You are willing to face the unknown, to learn, and to grow. Humans often underestimate themselves. I want to show you what your people are capable of, and this is a small step. You have already proven that humans can face challenges others cannot." John felt a mixture of awe and disbelief. He had always lived a quiet life, tinkering with machines and dreaming of adventures he thought were impossible. Now, someone from another galaxy was offering to change his world entirely. "That is not all," Nira continued, her eyes glowing softly. "I can also take you on a journey. You can see planets and stars that no human has ever seen. You can learn about life across the galaxy and understand your place in the universe. You can experience wonders that exist far beyond imagination." John's heart raced. The thought of leaving his small planet, of seeing worlds he had only dreamed about, was overwhelming. Yet he felt excitement, hope, and curiosity bubbling inside him. "Are you serious?" he asked. "I could really travel with you." "I am serious," Nira said. "But it is your choice. You do not have to leave if you are not ready. You can continue your life here. But if you choose to come, your life will never be the same. You will see what humans are capable of, and you will grow in ways you cannot imagine." John sat in silence, thinking. He had spent years alone, feeling small and insignificant. He had dreamed of adventure, yet never believed it could reach him. Now, Nira was offering a chance to step beyond the ordinary, to discover the extraordinary potential of humanity. Finally, he looked at her and nodded. "I want to come with you. I want to see these places, learn, and grow. I want to understand what humans can do." Nira smiled, her expression gentle and approving. "Then it begins," she said. She touched a small panel on her device, and a soft hum filled the room. The energy around them seemed to shift, glowing brighter and warmer. Your home will be transformed, John. And soon, we will travel beyond this planet together. Are you ready? John took a deep breath, feeling both excitement and a small trace of nervousness. I am ready, he said firmly. I trust you. Nira nodded and began activating her small craft. The transformation of John's house began. Walls shimmered with protective energy, devices hummed with new power, and the small home began to feel alive with technology that was beyond human understanding. John watched in amazement, realizing that his quiet life was being replaced with possibilities he had never dreamed of. As the day turned to evening, John felt a sense of hope and anticipation. He had faced danger, learned new skills, and now had the chance to explore the universe. The journey ahead promised challenges, lessons, and adventures. For the first time, he truly believed that humans could make a difference, that courage and heart were powers beyond measure. And as he looked at Nira, standing with calm confidence beside him, he knew that this was only the beginning. The transformation of John's small house was complete. Alien technology hummed softly through every wall, every device, and every corner. What had once been a quiet, ordinary home now glowed with energy and life. John stood in the center of the main room, looking around in amazement. It's incredible, he said, his voice filled with awe. I never imagined my house could be like this. Nira smiled, her luminous eyes reflecting pride and satisfaction. It is more than just a house now, John. It is a place of learning, protection, and possibility. It is ready for the journey ahead. And soon, we will leave this planet together. John's heart raced with excitement and a small trace of nervousness. The idea of traveling across the galaxy, of seeing worlds he had only dreamed about, was overwhelming. Yet he felt ready. He had learned courage, strategy, and ingenuity. He had faced danger and survived. He had proven to himself and to Nira that humans could be extraordinary. Where will we go first? He asked eagerly. Nira's smile was calm, but her eyes sparkled with adventure. There are many worlds to see, John. Some are peaceful, full of beauty and life. Others will challenge you and test your skills. You will learn that the universe is vast and full of possibilities. And you will discover what humans can do when they dare to step forward. John nodded, feeling a sense of purpose. He realized that the journey was not just about exploring planets or seeing strange creatures. It was about understanding humanity's potential, about learning what it meant to be brave, curious, and capable in a universe full of unknowns. As they prepared to leave, Nira activated the small craft she had brought with her. The walls of John's house shifted and shimmered, creating a smooth pathway into the vehicle. John stepped carefully, feeling the energy around him hum with anticipation. Are you ready? Nira asked, her hand brushing his lightly, a gesture of reassurance. I am ready, John replied firmly. He felt a thrill he had never experienced before. The quiet human who had once lived alone on a remote planet was now stepping into a galaxy full of adventure. The craft lifted gently, guided by Nira's skillful hands. Outside, the rocky plains and distant stars stretched beneath them. The wind of the planet seemed to fade, replaced by the hum of energy and the endless possibilities of space. John looked out at the horizon, feeling both awe and excitement. Do you think humans can really make a difference in the universe? He asked quietly. They can, Nira said confidently. You have seen it already. Your courage, your creativity, your determination, these are qualities that can shape worlds. Humans are small in size, but they are capable of great things. You will see that for yourself. John smiled, feeling a new sense of pride. He realized that being human was not a limitation. It was a strength. Humans had hearts that could guide them, minds that could solve impossible problems, and courage that could shine even in the darkest situations. The stars stretched before them, endless and shining. John felt excitement ripple through him. Each twinkle, each distant planet, was a chance to learn, to grow, and to prove that humans could rise to challenges no one expected them to. Nira guided the craft smoothly, taking them past glowing nebulae, around spinning asteroid belts, and near planets with skies of impossible colors. John marveled at everything he saw, feeling small yet powerful at the same time. He understood now that humans, though quiet and ordinary on one planet, could become extraordinary when they embraced courage and knowledge. Hours passed as they traveled together, sharing stories, learning, and planning their next steps. John realized that he had gained more than adventure. He had gained wisdom, confidence, and the understanding that humans could leave their mark on the universe. Finally, as they approached a distant, shimmering world, Nira turned to him. "This is only the beginning, John. There will be more challenges, more wonders, and more opportunities. But you are ready. Humans are ready. And together, we will discover what it truly means to be capable in a universe filled with possibilities." John looked at the glowing planet before them, his heart full of hope. He thought of his quiet life on the small planet he had left behind, of the fears he had once held, and of the courage he had found within himself. He felt a deep sense of pride, not just in himself, but in humanity. "Yes," he said softly, smiling at Nira. "Let's go. Let's see what humans can do." The craft glided toward the shimmering world, leaving the small planet behind. John felt exhilaration, wonder, and determination all at once. The universe was vast, full of mysteries and opportunities, and he knew that humans, with heart and courage, could rise to meet them. And as the stars stretched endlessly around them, John understood that this journey was not just about exploration. It was about discovering the extraordinary potential of humanity, proving that even ordinary humans could shine among the stars, and beginning a new chapter that would change everything.